Married at First Sight, Season 16, Episode 17. So, this episode was part 2 of the retreat. As a group, they ran on logs in a pool or whatever. They sawed a log and they climbed a log. It looked like everyone had a good time doing those things, well, except for Chuck. He was still hungover from his birthday party the night before. Hi, I'm Tamara, and this is Tamara Lynette Tales. Once again, this episode didn't give the drama I was hoping for, but there was some info shared through their conversations. Like for Shaq and Kirsten, it sounds like Kirsten wants to have deeper get to know you type conversations, and Shaq is complaining about it. If Shaq isn't going to do anything else, he's going to complain. When they went to that place to take old time Bonnie and Clyde type pictures, he told Chris that apparently after the whole not go to Shaq's work event debacle, Kirsten pulled out her calendar and said, "Tell me when the next one is. I'm going to be there." And Shaq was like, "Well, I don't want you to come because you think everyone is going to ride you if you don't come. I want you to want to be there." Shaq, how does she win? If she doesn't go, you complain and you sick your mama on her. And if she says she'll go to the next one, you complain that she doesn't want to go. You claim you're observant, accept her little promise, and see what she does the next time. And let it go in the meantime. Like, why are you still arguing about that? So he also told Chris that Kirsten likes to stay up until like 3 a.m. to have deep conversations. But on Afterparty, Kirsten said that they only stayed up like 3 times, if that. So here's my thing. He wants her to go out of her way to attend his work events, put her job aside, and you know he's not going to give her enough information on what they're going to do, so she's going to end up overpacking, hoping she brought everything she's going to need, then take an Uber to the airport, not knowing how much conversation she should have with an Uber driver versus Shaq, because she doesn't want to risk getting a low rating from the driver for ignoring him, because you never know when the driver likes to talk or when a driver wants to be left alone. Then at the airport, having to guess which line is going to be faster to check her bag, the Skycat line outside, the self-check inside, or going to the counter, then setting off the machines in security because she has too many bobby pins in her hair, so she has to wait for a female TSA agent to pull her aside and pat her down, only to find out that it wasn't the bobby pins in her hair, but the buckles on her Doc Martens that set off the machine. So she has to take them off and put them through the x-ray machine, even though she's already paid for her KTN pre-check number that's supposed to allow her to go through the pre-check line, where the whole point is to not have to take off your shoes. Then when she finally makes it to the gate listed on her airline app, only to find out the gate changed and the new gate is in a completely different terminal, which is a 20-minute walk from where she's at. Then when she finally makes it onto the plane and leans her chair back to relax a bit, and just when she's about to doze off, someone starts kicking the back of her chair to the beat of "I Want to Dance with Somebody" by Whitney Houston. In the end, she gets off the plane, takes another Uber to the hotel, and finally makes it to Shaq's event. But in return, all she's asking for is Shaq to have a conversation in the comfort of their own home. And he has a problem with that, complaining that it's not a need for me. Okay, I might have blacked out a little bit back there, but based on Kirsten's remark on Afterparty, that she's just trying to figure out if Shaq even likes her and if he can see himself falling in love with her, it kind of sounds like Shaq isn't whispering sweet nothings in her ear. I've seen her say "I miss you" and wish him well, but they haven't shown him being verbally affectionate towards her. I don't know, maybe he's still affected by how their marriage started, but not vocalizing it. Or he may have had a different vision of what he wanted from marriage. Between his job and being in college, it sounds like he's super busy. And maybe he was hoping for someone who could be his date at events and lighten his load in life. But it doesn't sound as though he gave much thought into the amount of time he would need to put into his wife or his marriage. But I'm not letting Kirsten off the hook. Like I mentioned, they did get off to a rocky start because of her. I don't know if she's done enough to repair the damage she did by acting like what we used to call back in the day sometimey. Sometimey means sometimes she's nice and sometimes she's not. I actually kind of believe that if they had more hand-holding from experts, remember them, that they might have been given the tools to have a chance to make it at least a little bit past decision day. But instead, I think they're going to crash and burn. As for Gina and Chuck Norris, during this retreat, I think I felt more in like with Chuck and felt more mean girl energy from Gina. They have both said that they're not attracted to each other and have put each other in the friend zone. So why is Gina complaining that he doesn't see me as someone he needs to impress or fight for? So I've never felt like a wife. There's never been initiative to say, I'm going to try and move forward and build a marriage. Girl, did you bump your head on that pole that you couldn't climb like the athlete you claimed to be? When exactly did you start treating Chuck like a husband? When have you left the salon early to plan a special surprise for Chuck, unscripted and unfilmed? When have you given him the green light to come in closer and make a move on you, Miss I don't like your ginger features? Neither one of you treat the other like a spouse. Neither one of you are trying to woo each other. So why are you playing in our faces, acting like it's just Chuck and saying it out loud like this is what you want from him? Girl, bye. On Afterparty, Keisha had her baby, by the way, a boy. So Chuck said when the cameras are off, Gina is a whole different person. When they're on, he feels like there's hope for their marriage and she's more energetic. So if this is her being more energetic, she must be knocked out sleep when the cameras are off. But apparently she's on her phone all the time. I guess that's her way of making him feel wanted and like a husband. When they were talking about her employee Julia quitting, that segment felt so produced to me. You notice that they have each couple sit down someplace alone to discuss their issues. Well, there's really nothing else for Chuck and Gina to discuss at this point. They're not attracted to each other and are now only participating on the show to fulfill their contract, not to build a marriage. So when one of the producers heard about Gina's employee quitting, they probably said, how about you talk about that and how it makes you feel? That'd be y'all's little segment. When they were in the hot tub and Chuck shook up that champagne and sprayed it all over everyone, first of all, that didn't look like fun to me. But second, I would have been doing the same thing Jasmine was. Black girl in the corner, protecting her hair. Don't you spray that cheap alcohol in my lace front. Jasmine and Orgy laying in the bed talking about he misses Jasmine and her dog Duchess. I don't know about that. Because later when he told Jasmine that he missed her dog, he was very specific to say that he missed Jasmine's hair being on the floor. So did you really miss her or did you just notice she wasn't there? Those are not the same thing. So towards the end of the retreat, when they were sitting around eating and recapping the weekend, Shaq asked everyone what they learned. Orgy said to take it one day at a time. Don't worry about the past. Just try to win today. Did he leave early yesterday to attend a 12-step meeting? Where's all this coming from? As we know, production presses these people to talk about their problems all the time. Like, what do you feel your spouse needs to work on? It looks like Orgy has locked in on Jasmine not being outspoken enough as his go-to response. Because when they went around the circle and asked each other questions based on that card game Jasmine brought, Orgy and Jasmine pulled the question, what do you think the hardest thing for me is right now? Jasmine said him being too much in his head, overthinking things, which causes him to get in his own way. Orgy thinks Jasmine's hardest thing is speaking up for herself, like speaking up when he does something that gets on her nerves. Excuse me, but I beg to differ. I think the hardest thing for her right now is realizing that she pulled the peanut M&M that was just a blob of chocolate with no nut on the inside. That she got the guy who doesn't hesitate to put his ashy ankle in her face so she can put lotion on it, but can't even string 3 words together when he walks in the door at night. Sup. That she got the F-boy who will sleep with anything that moves but her. These are the things that are hard for Jasmine to deal with right now. Her not speaking up for herself is background music to your shenanigans, sir. On another note, I was proud of Jasmine for being the best at climbing that pole. Jasmine is fit and strong. Get it, girl? As for Pepper Cal and Chris, she sucked all of the fun out of playing miniature golf. That little golf ball was like her self-esteem, all over the place and not where it should be. She got so upset that she wasn't good at a game that has absolutely nothing to do with her life, marriage, job, family, past, future, or decision day. Who cares you're not good at miniature golf? Congratulations. That means you probably have better things to do with your time. Chris had the patience of a monk in that scene. I would have said, let's just stop playing and go get some pizza because your tantrums are getting on my nerves. Okay, I wouldn't have said that. It would have been more like a shrimp burrito, easy on the tomatoes with brown rice, pinto beans, and green mild salsa, but you get the point. So it sounds like their go-to problem is their living situation after decision day, because Pepper Cow brought it up a few times saying, just promise me we'll make a real plan before decision day. Finally, Chris was like, I thought that's what we decided already. We've been saying that's what we're gonna do. So it sounded like Chris didn't get the memo that she picked this as their problem to discuss over and over and over again. When she had the idea for them to wear dinosaur costumes for breakfast, if that was her idea, not production's, but whoever's idea it was a flop. There didn't seem to be a plan, like a skit or something, to go with the costumes. She just walked in saying, "Arr, arr," in a room full of grown folks. If the people in the kitchen were toddlers, it would have been different, but given how heavily edited this show is, I don't know why they left that part in. So in the end, I believe these couples are exhausted and ready to get this season over with, and so am I. Filming like 60 hours a week seems to be taking its toll on everyone, except for Chuck Norris. He's still got a lot of energy, but watching people falling in love, the suspense of what's going to happen on decision day, just isn't there this season. Let's just get it over with and move on. Shoot, I know I'm ready to talk about something else, but I don't want to recap another show. What non-recapable thing do y'all want to talk about? I'll still recap this show for now, but I'm past due for talking about other things on this channel, so feel free to share your non-recap ideas in the comments. In the meantime, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video.